Hi there, I'm Adrian Marcy from Roland, Canada, and I want to talk to you about the Roland JUNO Di synthesizer and just a little bit about what's behind it and how to navigate it. We won't talk about everything, but we'll give you a good tour of its sounds, how to layer sounds, what some of the controls are, and maybe some of the easy behind the scenes capabilities of JUNO Di. As you can see, it just went into power save mode there. Just hit a note there and it'll come back to life. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is just some of the connections on the back. So I've got this plugged into the wall for power, but the JUNO Di is actually capable of being battery powered, and the batteries will actually charge this instrument for 5 to 6 hours. So if you ever need to be mobile with the instrument, it's perfect for the mobile application. If you need to take it outside or anywhere for that matter. We always recommend that you use nickel metal hydrate batteries, or NIM batteries for short. Rechargeables. You can use alkaline, but you won't get the length of time in the power as you will with the nickel metal hydrate rechargeables. So definitely do that. We've got our outputs for audio. The JUNO Di does not have built-in amplification or built-in speakers. Most professional synthesizers don't. And what I do have here is I have audio cables going into just a multi-track recorder right now, and that's what's recording my sound. But this actually can go into a keyboard amplifier or a mixer if you've got a sound system for a stage or anything like that. So that's where you connect so you can hear the instrument. You also have headphone jack as well on the back, and then even on top of that we have a pedal input here. So that's what I have connected right now. The pedal input is a sustain. So if I just play the keys like that, if I play the keys like that with the pedal down, you will hold or sustain the notes, and that's what the hold pedal is over there. Okay. We also do have connections for USB to connect to the computer, for MIDI and audio use. We also have regular MIDI jacks for MIDI use with our computer as well. Also, if you notice that the screen goes dark or too bright, that's probably due to the LCD contrast, and there is a dial for that on the back as well. Okay, so that's just the sort of a general idea of what's going on behind the JUNO Di. So now, I just want to talk to you about some of the sounds. The sounds in the JUNO Di are fantastic. And start off with this piano. This is the sound that arrives when you turn on the instrument. And you do have octave up and down buttons, so I can get to different ranges, even ranges beyond the actual acoustic instruments that themselves, but you get things like this. All right, so that's the piano sound. Now to navigate, you have all of these different categories, and also within some of these categories you will have subcategories. So if you notice these up, down, left, and right arrow buttons over here, right now I'm in the piano category, but if I hit the right arrow button, it'll actually jump to my electric piano. So I'll get something like this. Then I can use my wheel to jump through jump to different variations of that sound in that category. Like even when I go to the organ here. I'm getting a little excited there with this instrument. Moving the keyboard around. And then if I, again, use the category or the arrow button to go to a subcategory, what I'm getting here is some claps now. So even if I went to orchestra, I can use my wheel here to jump to different sounds. Bring that octave back up. Even guitar. If I use the arrow button, I get bass. Right? If I press the button again, the category button or the arrow button again, will jump back to the beginning of that category. And you know what? The effects in the JUNO DI are amazing as well. We can get some amazing amp modeling in here as well for guitarists. And if you notice, I'm not sure if you can see it in the frame, but I have a pitch mod lever here. If I move, I can bend the notes, and that's how you hear me bending that note. Is I have the, actually maybe if I move the keyboard just over a tad, you can see it right about here. That's what I'm doing there. Okay, so that's that. Now, even other instruments like world instruments, sitar from India. This one's called sitar on C because it has a C drone, right? And again, I can move through many of these. You can discover instruments from all around the world in here. Some of them have sort of sound effects and synths in it. Right? Now, we are actually capable of layering more than one sound in here. We've got that water going. It'll eventually fade out, I guess. That was from that world sound in there. So I've got this piano sound. And if I wanted to layer it, say, with something like a strings, well, we do have what's called split and dual over here. So if I hit dual, you'll now notice on the screen sound 1 and sound 2. And right now we have 2 pianos layered. You also notice a cursor flashing. Well, if I use the up and down arrows, I can move that cursor. So if I move it to number 2, and then go to orchestral, now I can choose this string sounds that I want. Now that string sounds a little bit loud, so if I wanted to, I could actually change the volume. All I gotta do is press Shift and see the Perform button here. There's part 1 and part 2 levels. So the cursor is on part 2 level, which is at 100. I wanna bring that down to maybe about 40 or 45, wherever. So I have piano and strings, and I brought down the piano or the string sound a little bit. Let's bring that back up again to about 100. And if I wanted to split, I just hit the split button. And now you notice 1 and 2 is changed to upper or U and lower or L on the screen. So now I have strings in my left hand and piano in my right hand, or upper part of the keyboard. And that's how I achieve that. If I wanted to change the split point by default is where this little graphic is here above the keys that says split. All I got to do to choose my own is press split and hold it, and then I can just hit the key where I want the split to be. I can make the split all the way up here if I wanted to, and then piano only up here, right? So that's how we can achieve that. Now, if we create a dual and a split and we actually wanted to save that, so we wanted to save these 2 sounds here, just make sure you press exit, and you do see at the top of the screen it'll say temp perform, meaning temporary performance. And what we do is we create performances which are the combination of the 2 sounds. So as long as the cursor is at the top, flashing at the top number, we can press right, and now you'll see perform right. We have 512 slots to put our favorite performance. We can even name it if we wanted to. Then just press right, and it will actually write that into memory. So we can have that and recall that for later. We don't have to keep on splitting or layering our sounds. If we need it instantly, we can save it as in perform, and then it'll show up in the perform category down here. So that's how you layer or split sounds. So layering is dual and splitting is the split button. Okay, now what we also do have with this instrument is a fantastic MIDI controller. So for those of you that are going to use this with a computer, this is a fantastic feature. There's a dedicated MIDI controller mode. So if I just hit MIDI controller mode, you'll notice that we go into MIDI controller screen on the display, and notice this. It has actually disabled the keybed because in this case what we actually probably want to be doing is controlling something else. So this is actually called local off, meaning that the local sounds inside of the JUNO DI are not being controlled by the keyboard of the instrument. If we wanted to, we can turn it back on. So we just hit, you'll see local switch on the screen. Just move the cursor down using the arrow buttons down to local on, and just press or just select on with the wheel. Okay, I'm just going to keep it off for this time, but check out how easy it is to assign controls. So for instance, if you're using a software synthesizer on the computer and you want to use the JUNO DI to control it, there are some knobs here that I can assign controls to, which are normally called CC controls, or control changes. All I got to do is move the knob just a tad, and then you'll see on the screen the CC number that is assigned to that. And normally you'd find out what CC numbers in the owner's manual of the instrument or of the software synthesizer that you want to control. You would find that number in the owner's manual and then assign that number to the knob that you're turning here. So, and all I do is, again, just use the dial here to select the number that I want to have that. And I'm going to keep that on attack since that is the attack knob. Again, if I want to change resonance, and I don't want it to be resonance, I want it to be, I don't know, vibrato rate, I can do that, or decay time, or any other type of control, we can definitely do that. So I'm just going to move that back to resonance because it is the resonance knob. So this is how we can achieve a fantastic MIDI controller within the JUNO DI. So let's just hit MIDI controller again, gets us out of MIDI control mode, and we are done. Now, on top of that, we have a song player in here. So if I move the keyboard over just a bit here, you'll notice that there's a little door I can move up and down. This is where there is a USB slot for a USB flash drive. So I'm going to move this back again. Let's see if I get it centered in the frame as best I can. There we go. So that USB flash drive slot, we are actually able to put WAV files, MP3 files, or MIDI files on it. And then we can use them as backing tracks, and you control it right here from the song player. All you got to do is press song list. I don't have a stick in there now, but you'll see all the names of the files on the screen of whatever is on the USB stick, and then you can select them. You just use play, stop, you have fast forward and rewind, and you can even choose the level of the song that's playing by just pressing the level button, and then you'll see it on the screen and use the dial to move it up and down. You'll also notice a button that says center cancel or -1. For MIDI files, you'll be using -1 when you press that button. And what that'll do is it'll allow you to select one of the tracks from the MIDI files to mute, so that either you can play it, or if it's a vocalist singing with it, you could take the melody line out of the MIDI file so that the vocalist can sing it. For center cancel, which shows up C cancel just above the button, what that does is it takes away the center sort of frequencies of a vocal line or lead line within a song from MP3s and WAV files. Maybe sort of an auto karaoke mode, if you will. What it'll do, again, is sort of pick these certain frequencies in the song where vocals or lead guitars or anything like that might be, and try its best to take it out. Now, it doesn't work all the time. Songs are mixed. All different songs are mixed differently, but it actually works quite well, you'll find. Now, if you do want to jam along with something other than those songs, we actually do have a built-in drum machine as well. So that's what the rhythm pattern button is here. So if I wanted to, you can see that I've got this drum pattern here, and I just use the wheels, or the wheel here, to go through different types of patterns from all over the world, right? So I can go in here, and there might be, there's jazz, and then I can, so this is just the category, and right below it is actually a number of rhythms within it. So if I hit that, there's a jazz. Let's get out of that. I'm going to keep that going, and I've got a split still here. So let's, instead of have strings, how about we do some bass? I guess something like that, right? So again, you can easily just pick a rhythm to complement whatever style of music you're playing. I created a split. I had my bass in my left hand, my piano in my right, and that's how we can come up with a really neat performance using the JUNO DI. So in general, this is the JUNO DI. You've got some great connectivity on the back. It can be battery powered, so you can take it anywhere. You've got a great list of sounds from all over the world. You can easily layer and split using dual and split features. You have a MIDI controller to be able to control or control a computer or another instrument with it. You also have the song player. You also have the built-in drum machine built in here. And of course, there is one more thing that I'd always like to end with, right? We do also have a microphone connector is back here with dedicated mic controls. So if you do have someone who is going to be playing and singing at the same time, there's a microphone input at the back. Plug a microphone in. You've got your mic volume right here. You even have a dedicated reverb so that the mic or the vocalist sounds a little smoother, add a little bit more ambience to the vocal, and you can again instantly turn that on and off. So if I wanted that on for when I'm singing, when I'm talking, turn it off. Instant access to that. Again, a very, very full-featured instrument, very easy to use, and that is the JUNO DI. Thank you very much for listening.